As someone who's worked in the heating and air for years, I've been in countless older homes across the Twin Cities, and I can tell you there's one thing that keeps me up at night: asbestos. This stuff was everywhere in older buildings. Insulation, ductwork, pipe wrapping, and disturbing it can release dangerous fibers into the air. That's why I want to tell you about solutions for asbestos-free environments. Acronym: SAFE, S-A-F-E. And trust me, that acronym says it all, because safety is exactly what they deliver. They're certified by Minnesota Department of Health and fully compliant with EPA and OSHA standards. We at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric use SAFE for abating asbestos during older boiler and gravity furnace replacements. Our electrical team relies on them when drilling through asbestos sidings and floors. I trust them with my customers' safety, and that says everything. Whether you're replacing that old furnace, renovating, or buying property, SAFE provides professional inspections and certified removal services. I've seen what happens when people skip the inspection and just start tearing into walls. Don't take chances. Visit asbestosservices.services to learn more and schedule your inspection today. That's asbestos.services, ASBESTOS.services, because your safety matters.
From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
Welcome back to Twin City Tales, where we celebrate the entrepreneurs and community leaders who built something real right here in the Twin Cities. I'm your host, Wyman Wong, and today's guest has a story that will remind you why resilience and faith can carry you through anything. Joining me today is Nurse Liz Peterson, co-founder and owner of Beautox Bar, which is located in Maple Grove and White Bear Lake. But before Liz was helping thousands of clients feel their best, she was a teenage single mom knocking on doors looking for a place to live, working at a bank while raising her son on a $35 a week daycare, and living in an unfinished basement rented from an 86-year-old man who she called Mr. Liz spent 30 years as an RN at Mercy Hospital, working through unimaginable personal challenges, including her son's traumatic brain injury that changed both their lives forever. And somehow, in the midst of it all, she decided to chase a dream she'd been cooking up on morning runs with her business partner, Nicole. 10 years ago, they opened up the doors to Beautox Bar with 0 customers and cabinets from Menards and a whole lot of faith. Today, they've built a thriving business that's won awards every single year since 2016, built on a simple philosophy: educate your clients, listen to what they need, and treat people the way you'd want to be treated. Liz, welcome to Twin City Tales. Built here, stays here. Let's feel the difference.
All right, sounds good.
It's good to have you on here. And you were born in LA, but
Yep.
you grew up in Northern California until you were 6. What brought your family to Minnesota, and what do you remember about that transition coming to Minnesota?
We were brought here. My mother and father ended up divorcing at a young age, and I moved here with my aunt and lived with my aunt for a year. And then my mom came here. I said she brought me here long enough to drop me off, and then she moved back.
Did you miss California that time, or did you like it here in Minnesota?
No, I don't miss I don't like California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never.
What is it
missed
about California that you didn't like?
I don't like the way it looks, I guess. I love the beauty of the mountains and that kind of thing, but like the housing and things there, nobody takes care of their properties like they do in Minnesota. Everything looks like shacks there to me.
And you got to worry about that crazy part of California breaking off into the ocean. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, Arizona is like now oceanfront property. So, but you also lived in several places here in Minnesota, Minneapolis area. Crystal,
Yeah.
Northeast Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Blaine. And then in 11th grade, when you were 16, you got pregnant. Take us back to that moment.
Well, I was living, everybody has some dysfunction in their home, right? My mother was single. She raised us. She worked very hard. And she got married. And she married a man that wasn't so nice. And so he was just a mean guy. And he had a lot of issues that she wasn't evidently aware of. So anyways, I got pregnant. I think I probably did it on purpose to get out of the house. I thought that was my out. I don't know where that thinking came from, but that's what happened. I'm pretty sure of it. So I got pregnant and I moved out. Actually, yeah, I moved out. The minute the baby was born, I never went back home. And I lived with the father for a short time, and then he got into drugs. And so I had to move on because I didn't want my child around that. So that is where me going out and trying to find a place to live, knocking on doors, is where that happened.
And you're like 16 or 17. You haven't
I was
finished
16,
high school
barely
yet.
16. No, I did not finish high school. And I couldn't finish high school because I didn't have any money to pay the daycare. So I had to go find a job so that I could raise my son, because back then, I think, I never got any help from anybody. I didn't get any welfare. I didn't get any child support. I got no food stamps. I got nothing.
And that is actually at a time, too, where women were like, I don't want to say like second-class citizens, because I think that's even harder yet. But I almost feel like in the 70s, women couldn't even get credit without a man's signature. That's how crazy it was. We're not that far removed from it, but
Yeah.
I know so many more women that are so much better than money than men.
Oh,
right.
right.
But back then, it was such the stereotype, right? Like,
Yeah.
you cannot, women cannot buy a house. You have to have a man buy a house with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never.
I
be
don't
able to
even
pay.
know. Eventually I did move out and I got my own place. But I moved in with the 86-year-old man, Mister, and he helped me. He didn't help me financially, but he helped me with my son. Like, he would hold him and rock him while I was doing other things. He was very good. And he was a great friend. And I lived with him for approximately a year before I moved into another home. I had to get enough money to get an apartment. So I don't remember how I got the apartment. With what you're saying is true. I remember that, but I don't remember.
And sometimes I bet you back then it was subjective, right? Like it's not a hard, fast rule.
Yeah.
But it was out there where if you went to court and said, hey, they discriminated against me, I'm a woman, and they didn't rent it to me, they can come out and say, well, our policy is if you don't have a man's signature on on with you on the lease, we can't take you. That's our policy. And that was legal back then.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And I did try to stay in school because I loved school. And I just wanted to graduate. That was it. I wanted to graduate. And I tried to ask the county if they could pay for daycare. And back then they would come out to your house and meet with you. And that's what they did. And then they decided that they didn't realize it, but I was only 16. And they tried to put me in a foster home with my child. So then I had to prove that I could take care of him so that I wouldn't have to go to a foster home.
Wow. And that takes a lot of fortitude on your part.
Oh, yeah, it was very scary. It was scary.
And you're young, right? You're 16,
I'm young, and I had
17 years old.
nobody to help me.
Right.
My mom was in a bad situation and she was unavailable, and I just didn't have anybody to help me. So I ended up able to do that. I was able to prove that I could take care of him and myself. That's why I never went back to school. So then I went and I found a job, and then I found a really good daycare, and she was amazing. Shirley Pomeranke, her name was, and she babysat for me until I got married to my husband.
Yeah.
And I got married, and then we moved. So then it was,
That was Bob.
No,
Okay.
that was my first husband.
Your first husband.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
then you went to school.
And then
nursing.
I went to school later. I was home with my kids. I had 3 children and eventually had 3 children after. And I went back to school when my daughter went to first grade. When the baby went to first grade, I went to school. Something was telling me to go to school.
Interesting.
I always wanted to be a nurse, and I never ever had the opportunity. So now it was my opportunity. So I went off to school. But the funny thing is, the good Lord knew what was coming. I ended up divorced.
Yeah.
My husband left, and I had 3 children, and here I am in the same situation, not marketable and no job.
Wow.
Exact same situation. I'm like, okay, this is the last time this is ever going to happen to me. And so I went to school. I was in school. But most people were trying to, everybody was telling me I need to quit. Quit. You can't go to school and do all this. It's too much. And I said, I can't quit. I have to keep going because I have to be able to provide for these kids. And that's how it all went. I went to school and then I took in daycare kids during the day and went to school at night and got my RN degree.
Whoa. Yeah. Wow. That's tenacity for you.
Yeah.
You weren't letting go. You were like a pit bull when it came to your education.
I had to do it. And in the middle of all of that, my son had his car crash and had a traumatic brain injury.
That's right. And
So I was in the middle of a divorce. My life was unraveling. And my son went into a car with some really good kids. They were all great kids. They were soccer players. But they lost control of the vehicle. And it was on Ferry Street in Anoka, and they rolled the car. And he ended up with a traumatic brain injury from that. And literally, he lives in a group home now, and his whole life changed. He doesn't have a very good quality of life any longer since 15, and he's 48 now.
wow. And it's just one instant. It's just that one split instant that kind of.
And the thing was he was grounded. He was grounded to home that day because he had come back from a basketball game and he was supposed to check in with me, and he did not. He went and played basketball. I saw him. I could see him in the neighbor's backyard. So when he did finally come home, I said, well, now you're grounded because you didn't check in. Even though I'd seen you over there, you didn't check in. Well, he snuck out his window. So everything that happened to him was due to him sneaking out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty hard to swallow when you know you did it to yourself. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, for sure. And, we talked a little bit about like, it's really on you, but so much of it, like with that mentality, it's so easy to say it's them. Yeah. But really going back and even in your situation, I feel like there's a certain amount of being the mom and like you grounded him.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was questions in your mind going, well, what if I watched him a little harder, right?
Well, no, he went to bed. He was in bed.
Right.
It was night. It was midnight.
Yeah.
So there was no watching him. But the thing was, he was such a good kid.
Oh, sure.
He was such a good kid. This was just some dumb thing that happened.
Yeah.
He wasn't like one of these kids that was always in trouble. He was never in trouble. And he didn't do dumb things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This just happened to be some dumb event that happened. And I think it had to do with the 2 kids that he was with. They were his best friends. Their parents were out of town. They were teachers at Anoka High School, and they were taking their older children to college. So the one that lived behind us, I didn't know this, but his parents were gone, and he was the one who had the party at his house. And then they got, let's go get the girls, type of a thing.
Yeah.
And so that's how it all happened. But they weren't drinking. They weren't doing anything bad. They were just, they snuck out.
Right.
But everybody sneaks out at some point, you think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if everybody does. I never did. But I'm just saying, it just...
But things happen in your life. Your life has really had a lot of challenges from
It
when you were
has.
16.
Yes.
And now you're getting things together and
Yes.
you end up going to nursing school. And then you go through the divorce because you were 1 year into nursing school
Yeah.
and you push yourself through that. And then I guess the question that I have for you is during that time, in the fourth, this is when you're having a kid who's has that accident. And then in your 4th year of school, you met Bob. Here you are juggling everything.
I
And somehow
know.
you meet your future husband. Tell me about that.
Well, I never got to go to labs because the labs were in the daytime. And so I had daycare children. But for some reason, I got to go to this one lab. I don't know what happened. And so I went to the lab, and my husband, he's 6'3". And so I'm standing in the lab, and he's in front of me. And he turns around and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you see okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can see just fine." And that's how I met him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, I didn't know it at the time. He was married, and I didn't know anything about him or his wife or anything. But as a group, as a whole, all of us college people, we would rollerblade together. And Bob would be there, but I didn't know him, and I didn't really talk to him or anything. And then one day he just came to school and said his divorce was final. I was like, he was telling one of the guys that his divorce was final, and I was flabbergasted because I didn't even know he was getting a divorce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So our relationship started out as friends. We never had, we never even talked to each other till after that, and then it went real quick.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you end up working with them for quite a
Yep.
few years at
Mercy
Mercy Hospital.
Yep.
What was that like working with?
That was amazing. And I'll tell you why, because, nurses can give shifts away. We can trade. So if we had something going on, he'd take my shift. If he had something going on, I could take his shift. So we could share. So it worked out for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we worked on the same floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connie was the manager of the floor, and she didn't have a problem with couples that were married working together. So it worked out really well. Some managers don't like that, but I think she had good experience with it. So she allowed us to work together, and there was never an issue.
That's good. I can see where there could be issues, though, where
Yeah,
they start
there could.
fighting. Now, next thing
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
have drama on that
Yeah.
floor, and
Yeah.
that ain't good.
No, exactly. But we never had any of that.
That's great. That's
So-
great. And then, so from there, for 30 years, you worked at Mercy Hospital.
Yeah.
What made you realize it was time to move on?
Well, Wyman, when you start working in the nursing field 30 years ago, and then 30 years later, there's a lot of changes. And some people can deal with it better than others. And I was just at the end of my rope for patience with things. And so I was getting to the point where the job wasn't fun anymore because of the politics of the job. Like when I first started, nurses were considered professional people. We didn't even have to punch a time card. We were trusted, right? That we wouldn't cheat the system. And I never cheated the system, and I know my husband didn't, but it changed over time to the point where we didn't feel like we were part of a team any longer. When we were first nurses, we were definitely part of a team. And then, and it seemed like the hospital was ran by, it was a community hospital, and the people that were running the hospital were from the community, so they had a buy-in to how the hospital was run. Then the hospital was bought, and it wasn't really, it was getting too big. It wasn't a community hospital any longer. It was more, it was just a big hospital. And so other people were coming in from other states. It wasn't considered like, it wasn't being ran like a community hospital any longer. And I always felt like everything was turning into more about money, more about dollars than it was patient care. And I just didn't want to do it anymore.
And you were, though, on the on the baby's ward, right? Like
Yeah, I
baby-
worked in labor and delivery. I worked in the critical care, labor and delivery, and then I went down to surgery, to surgical services. I worked in the PACU recovery room and the SARS recovery room.
So 1998, were you still in the delivery area?
Yes. I believe.
Dan Wong was born at Mercy Hospital in 1998.
Okay.
So we might have even had a little run-in
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So we're like having a kind of a mini reunion here.
Wow. Yeah, I would have been on the unit then. Yeah. That's funny.
So when you left Mercy,
Yep.
you were you already in business, or were you just kind of like?
No, I was already in business because I already knew that I needed an exit because I wasn't happy anymore. And so I knew I had to stay for 5 more years because in order for me to get my pension, I needed and be fully, there's a rule of 85.
Yeah.
And you had to, your age plus years of service had to meet 85. And that was in 5 years from when I actually retired. So I knew I had to do that. So I needed to figure out, what am I going to do after? Because I'm not the retirement type of a person.
Right.
I'm not going to be good at just doing, I'm social.
Yeah.
I want to talk to people. I want to interact. I love to help people. So it's like, I want to interact with people. So Nikki, my business partner, and myself, we used to run together and we would talk, and she was in the business world, corporate world. And we just kind of start dreaming. What do we want to do, in our at the end of our career? I want to change my career. What would I do that's fun? And it came up that she had a bad experience in aesthetics. She went to get Botox because she was feeling frumpy, and she went with her husband, and she's deathly afraid of needles. And they didn't even have her take her coat off, and they started poking her, and then she went out to the desk and she was crying, and they charged her over $800. And she didn't have $800 to spend on that. She didn't have any idea it was going to cost that much. So she was devastated. And she said to me at that time, you got to learn how to do injectables because I need you to do mine. I can't go back to that again. And so that's kind of where we started with the Beautox Bar. And then it went fast. And, just so you know, everything that I seem to do has got to be overkill, right? So we bought all the dominions and all of that. We named our company. We had our logo developed, and we hired a team of lawyers down in Minneapolis. That was such overkill. This big team of lawyers. There was like 5 of them.
Okay.
And we're sitting down in Minneapolis at the table, and we signed all the paper. All the papers for the business got signed on my birthday.
Well, happy birthday to you.
So the Beautox Bar is on the 26th of August. That's when we signed all the documents. And that's my birthday. And my business partner, her birthday is August 27th.
Wow. So it was like a big birthday party,
Yes.
basically.
So every
Nice.
year we do have a big birthday party.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we celebrated down there at Murray's because that's where,
Oh,
yeah.
love the butternut
Yeah.
steak.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
And when you were telling me the story before, when you first opened up, you went to Menards,
Yes.
bought cabinets,
Yes.
put it together yourself.
Yes.
Opening day, beautiful space, 0 customers.
0 clients. Nobody knew about us.
Take me through building from nothing to thousands of customers and
my
awards
gosh.
every year.
Okay, so you don't know what you don't know. God gives you a dream. He kind of shows you where the dream can go. He doesn't show you how you're going to get there. Like, you just think you're just going to go down this road and it's going to be smooth sailing. Everything's going to be peaches and cream. Well, that is definitely not how it works. So the first thing we had to do was well, you'll laugh at this, but I was in California taking care of my stepdad because he was sick, and my mom, he called me and wanted me to come. So I went, and my business partner called me and she goes, we need a medical director. So I took out the phone book and I started calling I wanted a plastic surgeon because I want the best, right? So I'm calling and I'm saying I would like to interview you. I don't even have a business yet, but I want to interview you. These are plastic surgeons that are doing surgery. They have a big practice going, and I'm going to interview them. So I wanted to interview them. And, so anyways, one of the plastic surgeons called me back, and he said he would love to meet me. And I said, because I'm sure he thought, this lady's off her rocker, but I want to meet her.
Right.
So anyways, I flew back to Minnesota and I went to his office, and he and I and Nicole sat and chatted, and we loved him and he loved us. It was perfect fit. So we have our medical director, and that's how I got him. It was on the phone.
Wow, you're really blessed, especially the first one that you talked to.
First one.
Just knowing, like, being in business and understanding interviewing.
But it gets better. We didn't have a building. So we had to find a building. So we found an office space, and it had nothing in it. It didn't have running water. So we had to do all of that. And the electrical outlets weren't much. So we had to add electrical. So we did all of that. It was fun. I literally was there when the owner came over to the place, and all of the cabinets were sitting there. And he's like, this looks like too many cabinets. You can't even walk in here. And I go, well, we don't have them in place yet. But I go, who are you? Because I had never met him. I literally didn't know the owner of the building that we rented it from. I never met him. And he goes, well, I'm the owner of the building. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, welcome. So I was there mostly because Nicole had another full-time job. So she was there, and I had more availability because when you're a nurse, you can work 12-hour shifts, and then you get more days off. So that's how that went. We built out the whole place, but I didn't even know the first thing about injectables yet. I had never walked foot. I'd never stepped foot into a aesthetics clinic. I didn't know the first thing about aesthetics. And so Nicole's asking me, well, what kind of fillers are we going to use? Are we going to use blah, blah? And I go, I have no idea. I don't know what any of those are. So I got to go figure this out. So I went and I brought her with me to Wisconsin to get certified. And so just the way that my personality is, it's Nicole just laughed. She's sitting in the back of the room. But I'm so assertive when it comes to things. There was doctors there, and there were dentists, and there was PAs, and this dentist was going to inject this client, and he was going to do it wrong. And I just knew it was wrong. So I'm like, no, you don't do it that way. Me, who knows nothing. I'm like, no, you don't do it. You don't do it that way. This is the reason, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, the lady that was running the class, she just let me do it. I mean, literally, she didn't even watch me when I was injecting Nicole. And I had to reconstitute the Botox. Never done it in my life. I mean, just all the fun things. So I'm laughing at myself. Nicole's laughing. But that was 4 hours.
Wow.
That's it. I'm like, this is not.
To certify is 4 hours?
4 hours. I'm like, no, this is not going to work out. I got to go. I'm going to go to Scottsdale, and I'm going to work with some doctors, and I want to know what I'm doing. I got to know what I'm doing. I'm not going to hurt somebody. So anyways, I found some doctors that I could go and work with. But my stepdad was still sick, and I was worried that I was going to get there and that he was going to I was going to have to leave in the middle of this class. And this class was not, it was like, I want to say $17,000 to go here and do this. And I didn't want to spend that money and have to leave because I wouldn't be able to get it back. But they agreed that they would let me come back. So I did go in it and my stepdad was fine. And anyways, I worked with those doctors and I learned so much. So when I came back, it was time to open the clinic now. I had all my reps figured out by now. I had ordered all the products. I had my medical director. We had our building. It was all done. And now I just needed one client. I just needed one client because I just needed one client. So I talked my friend into coming and being my first client.
Hey, a win is a win, no matter how you get it. That's a win.
But when she's afraid of needles too, and she gets there, and I didn't prepare by opening anything up, and so I opened up the needles. They were the wrong needles. They were big, and Botox needles are small.
Okay. And
I'm like, oh no, these are the wrong needles. She's like, just do it. We laugh about it to this day. Her Botox turned out beautifully, but we did her injections with big needles for her Botox. And it turned out great. But yeah, we laugh about it because she was a good sport about it. She was cussing at me the whole time. And oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So, but that's how we did it. That's what we did. We started there and we beat the pavement. I was out, man. I was out to different events. I went to different, the venues that I saw. I was out marketing before we ever, networking before we ever even opened. I mean, it was a year before. We were just in the stages of thinking about it, and I was out telling everybody about it so that I could see what everybody's reaction was going to be. So,
wow.
Nikki and I we have had some crazy times, fun times.
Yeah.
Meeting people, and it's been just a whirlwind. I wouldn't change one thing about it because even the stuff that's just terrible, you know what I mean? The things that happen, like you go, oh, this is so stressful. You just grow and you learn, and it's all part of it, right?
Absolutely.
It's just part of the fun. It's part of it. I can look back now. I mean, some of the stuff we just crack up at. Yeah.
For listeners out there who want to know, man, I want to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what really intrigues me about your story is you're going to start this business.
Yeah.
And you need to go to school, some classes for it. And it's $17,000, right?
Yes, $17,000.
You had to have enough belief in yourself to invest that $17,000 to go, I'm going to do this.
Do you know how much money we had to start our business?
How much? Zero.
We used a credit card to start our business, and the credit card was for $25,000. And I spent $17,000 of it on the classes.
Wow. That's risk.
And the rest of it, we built out it was unbelievable. Now that's why I say I'm very, very blessed.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed. God blesses me because there's no way I did that on my own.
And there is a certain amount of yes, you can, the faith and everything, but there's a certain amount of you having to have faith in yourself to be able to do that. Because if you didn't,
right,
you would have never even attempted that, right?
Right.
I don't care how much God is behind you, you're mentally still challenged with if I have no clue about a business.
None.
But you had a little bit, but you knew that you had the faith in yourself that you believed in yourself.
I knew I could figure it out.
Yeah.
I didn't know the first thing about it, but I knew we could figure it out, and I knew I could do it with Nicole.
Yeah. And that's pure just heart to do that and understanding and calculated risk. So I guess for the people listening out there that are thinking about starting a business, one of the things that, such as yourself, you're taking a calculated risk. Yes, some people are not going to take that calculated risk. No matter, they have to have I'm going to be 100% sure that this is going to work before I even jump out into it.
Right.
But people like you and a lot of successful business owners tend to have taken that leap, knowing that okay, I got a 75% chance of making it, but I have enough belief in myself with grit and determination. I can cover that rest of that 25% with that.
Right.
And
I
that's
worked
what's amazing.
two jobs for 3 years. I worked from I worked at the hospital from 5 to 1:30, and then I left the hospital and got to the Botox bar at 2:00 and worked until 8:00 at night, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So I worked a lot of hours.
And it's blood, sweat, and tears that
Yes.
you're actually putting into
Yes. And I didn't
investing
get
in-
any money. So you don't get paid. But you have to be willing to do that, right? You have
You
to
do.
be willing to, if you want something to work, you have to be willing. If you own it, you're the last to get paid.
Absolutely. We all know that. We've been there.
If you own it, you have to take care of everything
Yes.
else. And then if there's anything left, you get it.
Yes.
And that, if you're not okay with working and putting a lot of hours in and not getting anything for it, besides the reward of meeting a lot of people and the fun things that get to come from it, then it's not for you. It's for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine with that.
And the people around you too, like you have to have your loved ones understand that this is a sacrifice you're
Yes.
making. Because I have to admit, my first marriage was probably destroyed
Oh.
from me having a business because you put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the other side doesn't always see that. And it's not their perception either. It's not their fault.
No.
They didn't sign up for it.
Right.
When we first met, I had no clue that I was going to go into a heating and air business, right?
Right.
And,
Right.
Dan, I'm blessed to have him, so I can never ever go, oh my gosh,
Oh, no,
I wish I
there's-
would have never met
No.
my ex-wife, Barb. But
There's always great things that are from everything.
Yes, but I do know that it wasn't all her fault either. I mean,
No.
I did put a lot of heart and soul into trying to build a business, and
Yeah.
you make sacrifices,
There's
like you said.
sacrifices.
But the people around you have to understand that sacrifice. Otherwise, you're hurting them too in a way. So
And my husband's great. He was
He
great.
is.
And he still is. He's very good about it. And did I complain sometimes? Yes, I did. Sometimes I did complain because I would be tired or whatever. But I literally am okay with serving others.
Yeah.
And I feel like God rewards me in other ways.
Yeah.
I get rewarded in so many ways.
yeah, and sometimes
It's not always monetary.
right, and sometimes serving others, and I'm probably going to diverge a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes serving others
Mm-hmm.
ends up making you forget to serve who's important or what's important in your life because you
Yeah.
are serving other people.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
easy. I have to admit, I admire anybody who actually attempts to start a business because
Mhm.
I know what it's like having
It's
been
a
there myself.
lot of work.
It's a lot of work, a lot
Mhm.
of mental anguish, a lot of rewards. So like you said,
Mhm.
that's put in front of you.
A lot of
So,
sacrifices.
a lot of sacrifices.
And so if you, like I said, for the people that can do that, it's great. If you're not that person, because there is a trade-off. Like sometimes you're trading your peace, right?
Yep.
You're trading your peace to build something. And you only have a certain amount of days in a life to have, right?
Yeah.
So you have to, it's that balance. You got to figure out where am I going to be okay
Yeah.
versus how much of my life am I dumping away? You know what I'm saying? To build something.
There's such a balance to that.
It is a balance.
Because your drive of building something,
Yes.
but you also know that every moment of your life can be precious. And
Yes.
you know it better than anybody else
Yes,
with your
I do.
son.
Yes, I do.
1 minute everything he's
Changes.
healthy, and
Mhm.
next thing you know,
And
that
my
will
husband too. My
change.
husband got very, very sick and he almost died on me. And that was scary. That's scary. In fact, I think I have post-traumatic from it. Sometimes when, like I would look at him and if I didn't hear him breathing or something, I would panic. And I'd have to go and feel his chest or because he almost died on me. And
I don't mean to laugh. I just think about when I got my wife and I got diagnosed with sleep apnea.
yeah.
Sleep apnea, you stop breathing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
Or you're choking, right?
Yeah.
And she had to tell me that, like, I thought you were going to die. And I'm like, no. And I ended up
No,
getting checked out. But
my
it
husband.
is scary, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
he got really, really sick,
Yeah.
and he literally was in the hospital and he almost died, and
Oh,
I
my
couldn't go
goodness.
into the hospital because of the COVID.
COVID, that's right.
Yeah, and so I was on the phone, but the staff was really busy with, everybody was overworked and too much going on, so nobody could return calls. So it was just really scary for me. And so anyways, I've had a couple of dealings with it, with my son and then my husband. And
Did
then,
he go in during COVID? Did he have COVID? Was that the deal? Or
oh yeah, he got COVID, but that's not why he went in. He went into the hospital because he had to have surgery. And during his stay in the hospital, he got COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you couldn't go in because of COVID.
Yeah.
They didn't allow any visitors.
So the only time they allowed a visitor, and only one, was my dad was in the hospital during COVID. And he was in pretty, like, emergency condition, kind of critical, and they were able to let me up there.
Was that at Mercy or?
Robbinsdale.
Yeah.
Memorial.
So it was different. Mercy wouldn't let
Yeah.
anybody in.
Really? Yeah, I suppose each hospital has their
And
own.
had I been working there at the time, it might have been different. But I wasn't. I was already retired. When you were working there, then
You can pull some strings.
well, yeah, nobody would have kept me away.
Yeah. Well, with that, why don't we take a quick break and
Yeah.
we will be back.
Okay, sounds good.
Anoka Meals on Wheels, a nonprofit organization that I proudly support, delivers more than just nutritious meals to seniors in our community. They deliver connection, care, and peace of mind. Their volunteers don't just drop off food, they check in, share a smile, and ensure our neighbors know they're not forgotten. I know because I am one of those volunteer drivers. Help us keep serving those who need it most. Visit mowanoka.org to volunteer, donate, or learn more about Anoka Meals on Wheels, nourishing bodies and spirits one meal at a time. Tired of lugging heavy bags of water softener salt from the store? Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric now delivers premium water softener salt right to your home in returnable, reusable 20-pound containers to go green and light it up to save you from injury. Serving the north suburbs, we're your neighbors who know how hard our water is. No more running out of salt and dealing with spotty dishes and stiff laundry. Quality salt, reliable delivery, local service you can trust. Because at Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, we don't just keep your home comfortable, we keep your water soft and your life easy. Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, now with water softener salt delivery. Call today or visit us online. If you're enjoying the show, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a second to hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more listeners, and it truly does help our local community, the businesses and the local business owners, for people to get to know them a lot better. And if you're really feeling generous, if you can leave us a review, it would mean the world to us. It only takes a minute, but it makes a huge difference in helping people discover our show. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twin Sea Tales, for behind the scenes content, episode updates, and more. So this is the portion where we got some photos from one of your daughters, I believe.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I think they were very nice to you. I mean, they were very kind.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you the first picture. You know, they all are about the same age area, but
Okay.
this looks like you guys are at a restaurant dining somewhere. And is that Bob?
No, that's my son, Jason.
That's your son, Jason. Wow.
Yeah. That was Jason's first wife.
Oh.
He's not
okay.
married now. He has a girlfriend that he's been with for many years now. But
Okay.
that was Beth,
And then
his wife, and that's my daughter, Brittany.
Okay.
And we were out on vacation.
On that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have another. This one I was really curious about. So is that you?
That is me.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
your 2 daughters.
No, my daughter and my daughter-in-law. That was Jason's
Okay.
wife. And we were in Rome, I believe.
Nice. So the traveling
Yeah.
was awesome, I bet, in Rome.
Oh, fantastic.
It's kind of a journey, right?
Yeah.
Like just life is a journey.
It is a journey.
Speaking about journeys, the Beautox Bar, where is that right now in your journey?
Well,
Beautox Bar.
yeah, when we started, we had 0 clients. And I remember I told you that we have thousands of clients now at our Maple Grove store. We just opened a year ago a White Bear Lake location, and we're building that clinic. So, yeah, it's going great. Yeah, we love it.
I was there at your grand open, your
Yeah,
ribbon cutting, and
yeah.
it is an amazing place there. I mean, you
Yeah.
have a really great space
Yeah,
with great systems, and it's very clinical.
Yep.
So it's very clean, but
Yep.
yet very inviting. I just felt like it had such a great vibe in there.
yeah. It's real bright and light and airy and yeah. And everybody, we have a great team that works for us now. When we started, it was me.
Yeah.
So I have some support now, and I love it. The girls, it's a team of women right now, and they're all awesome. So
Cool.
we've grown a lot.
That is nice.
And when we started, I checked people in, I checked them out, I took their payments, I did everything. I did all the inject. Now we have somebody that's at the desk that does all of that for me. All I have to do is inject.
Yeah.
So it's really come a long way.
Do you still feel like, do you inject every customer, or do you have other people that does the
No, we have
injections
4
also?
nurses.
Gotcha.
4 registered nurses that inject.
So one of the strange things that I always felt like when I started the business, like you started from 0 customers. So like the first few years, you knew every customer that walked
Yes,
through the
I
place.
did.
You like injected every one of them. You had
Yes.
a personal relationship with them.
Yes.
And then you get to a point where you start hiring people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, what I had an epiphany one time where I was looking up my books or my customers list, and I'm
Right.
like, I don't know some of these people. I've never been in their
Right.
houses. I don't. It's like, whoa! It's a weird feeling to have.
It
Is that
is.
what you
It
had
is.
too? Like,
Yes.
I don't know these people.
Yeah.
and
And I'm not always there when their staff is working.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 clinics. So I'm at one of the other clinics. But yeah, so I don't know all the customers.
like you
but-
once did.
Right.
And it's a weird feeling
It is
when you
a
all of a
weird
sudden
feeling.
hit that
Yeah.
ceiling. But it's also a good feeling because you know, like, this isn't all me.
No.
You built something.
This is a team.
Yes.
And
It's
they're
a
all
team,
good.
But you've also built something. And, going back to business owners, when you build something, you're actually building the value when you don't have to be there. So like at the beginning,
Yes.
when you're the one that has to be there, you're doing the injections, you're taking the intake.
Yes.
Like the value isn't the business itself. The value really is you. If
Yes.
something happened to you,
Yes.
that business is worth nothing.
Nothing. Right.
Basically, the names, that's
Right.
it.
Right.
But in all reality, you've created something, and that's work. And
Yeah.
I have to applaud you for that because
Oh,
I know
thank
how
you.
hard that is. And
Yeah.
you didn't do it just by knowing business. You did it by actually having good relationships with people, educating them,
Interacting,
interacting, and really truly
Yeah.
caring about your customers first,
Right.
like we talked about, right?
Right.
Sacrificing who you are, and even your family takes a sacrifice for you to
Yes.
serve your community
That's correct.
at a high level.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's the one thing about Beautox Bar that I think is, by knowing you,
Yeah.
that's what it really is
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now-
Oh my goodness.
That is Bob.
That's Bob. That's my husband. And
and
that
that's
is me
you.
with short, dark hair.
Yes.
It's been a while.
And I first looked at that picture, and in case our listeners don't know this,
I know what you're going to
Liz's
say.
sister, Annette, actually works with us. She's one of our team members.
You
A
thought-
fantastic person. She handles all our permits and she does all our phone. She does a lot of our phone answering. But she's an amazing woman. But like you, and also she looked like you right there. When I saw that, I said, "That looks like Annette."
I know. Yep. Like I told you, we used to be. People would think we were twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Annette's wonderful. So you guys
Yeah.
are like two
We
great people.
I got a good sister.
You do. You
Yeah.
do. And she actually just moved really close to you now.
She did.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. She's
So
not
that-
far at all. No.
Yeah. And then I think, and is that
That's
you, or
that's
your-
my son again,
that's
and
your
that's
son?
and that is my daughter.
Gotcha.
That's Brittany and Jason again.
Yeah. And this was, what year was that you went to Rome?
Oh my gosh, that has to be 10 years ago,
If not,
if not more.
yeah.
Because Brittany's almost 30 now, and that
Okay.
picture she looks, yeah, it's probably closer to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was probably right before you started your Botox clinic.
Yeah, I didn't have
take it.
Botox Bar then.
Yeah, and you were probably still working at the hospital.
Yep, I was.
So going back to that time,
Yep.
if you could give yourself some advice before you started Beautox Bar and go back, what would you give a younger Liz at that time of advice?
Be patient with yourself and know that, I can be really hard on myself. And so be patient with yourself and others and know that people are doing the best that they can. Like I can get impatient with people very, very quickly sometimes. And I'm learning and I'm growing because that's how I am with myself. Right. And when we are impatient with ourselves, we're impatient with others sometimes. So I'm trying to learn that. And I mean, honestly, it takes a lifetime to learn this stuff. I'm not young.
No,
It
and we
takes
get
a
set in our ways
lifetime.
sometimes,
I know.
and we know what we like. I mean, I think
Yeah,
I know I'm kind of going off subject a little bit,
that's okay.
but I know and you and I have been married
Yes.
for a while to our partners,
Yes.
12, 13 years. But I feel like if I had to go out and date at this age,
Mhm.
I feel like we know what we like, and you're not going to change us.
No.
And
I've been married 31 years.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like
Yeah.
that's part of who we are, right?
Yes.
Like we know what we like. It's hard to change us, and to get us to adjust, it's a chore.
It is.
And even us mentally trying to adjust can be
Yeah.
a chore. But we know we need to do that sometimes
Yeah.
to make everything around us healthy, right?
And the other thing I would tell myself is to trust in the process
Yeah.
because you're going to have ups and downs and you have to trust the process. That's what I tell my clients. When they leave after lip injections, their lips are huge sometimes. They're all swollen and they look ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And you have to say, trust the process. And then 2 weeks later, their lips are beautiful, right?
Gotcha.
Or anything that you do.
So, one of the things that on Botox, the rap that I've gotten from like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, and probably they didn't know how to do it as well as they do now, but they would always like show it on like memes or on the internet, like, see, this person got Botox all their life and their face is so distorted after a while. Is that still a thing, or has that gotten a lot better?
The distortion comes from facelifts. It's not Botox.
Okay.
Botox doesn't stay with you. Like it's good for about 3 months and then it's done.
Okay.
And all Botox does is it relaxes your muscles so your muscles can't pull on your skin and damage your skin. That's all it does. Like right now, I don't have any in my face. So I can move everything. But if I had Botox in my face, I wouldn't be able to do that. So then I wouldn't be making lines and wrinkles, right?
Yeah.
And but when it wears off, I can move everything. And sometimes if people put in too much filler, that's a different story. You
Okay.
can distort your face with fillers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you clarified that for me, because I
Mhm.
think a lot of people might have that misconception
Yeah.
on what Botox is, right?
Yeah. And when it's in, if it's not put in correctly, it can make it can make your muscle, like it can drop your eye, or you can have some weird things happen with
Yeah.
Botox. But it's a temporary thing. It's not something that is permanent
Yeah.
that way. And fillers do dissolve, but if you overdo them, you can have issues with stretching your skin, or you have to know what you're doing. So you need to
Yeah.
go to somebody that is going to care about that, and we care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, and I know we didn't talk about much of technical, and I know
Yeah.
we talked about we don't want. What is, so besides being a nurse,
Yeah.
obviously you have to have the certification.
Yep.
Any other regulatory things that you have to have in running a clinic? You have to have probably you said a medical
You have to have a medical director.
director.
Yes.
Who has to have a degree.
Yeah, a physician that oversees the clinic. And yes, so you have to have that. And you have to, as a nurse, you have requirements of education that you need to have ongoing. So you have to continue with your education. And because you're still a nurse, you have a nurse's license. And then, you have to abide by the rules of OSHA and, the sanitary things. You need to abide, you have to have protocols in place. You have to have, everything has to be spelled out.
Yeah.
And you need to have, like consents. You got to know there's so much to it.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's just so much to it. But yeah, that's where you get legal advice that tells you what you need and what is, best practice for things.
Yeah. And that's why I'm asking.
And ongoing training. We train all the time at our clinic. Yeah, we're always ongoing training. And we work very, very closely with Allergan, which is we are a strict Allergan clinic. So we only use Allergan products. And we work really close with them and with our training. And so we're always doing trainings or going to trainings, and they are amazing to work with. Yeah.
So to do this, I mean, you truly have to be a student of your craft.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not just willy-nilly.
No, you got to know what you're doing. And so there's always new techniques you're learning. There's always new ways to do it. There's always new products coming out. So you have to stay on top of it.
And that's the importance of going to a good Botox place.
Yes.
As opposed to somebody who's just like, hey, I'm in it for profit only, and they're not spending and they're not investing into making sure they're trained right and really knowing what the customer needs. I feel like that's a big difference of how to choose.
Yeah, you need to have, you want to go to it. And like when I'm injecting my clients, I show them everything. Like if I'm going to reconstitute Botox, I do it in front of them. I explain it to them. I show them what I'm doing, how it's done, why it's done that way. I'm always teaching as I go. And the reason is because they might not always be at my clinic. They might be somewhere else. And if they know these things, then they know when something's not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
sense. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's fantastic. I've learned more today about at the end here about Botox than I've ever known, and
there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more,
and it really
to
makes people feel good. So I really like. I think what you're doing is definitely a service to the community.
Yeah.
For people. So.
I can't believe my daughter sent you pictures from that long ago. That's crazy.
Well, we were looking for younger pictures, and it's hard to find younger pictures of you. I talked to Annette, and she said that she didn't have any young pictures yet. But I think that's close enough.
I try to stay out of the camera.
Do you?
Yeah.
So I think that's as close as we got to being able to. I love the question of what would you tell yourself 15 years ago, because sometimes that reflection is a big part of who we are, right? Like that's how we move forward. You don't want to dwell on the past, but you always I feel like need to reflect, right?
Yeah.
So
and you don't we want to rush through everything, right? because we live in America, it's fast. Everything we want
Right.
fast, right?
Fast
we want,
food.
We want our business when we open the door to be booming. But look at all the fun I've had
Yeah.
to get to where we are now.
It's a journey.
It has been a journey, and it's been a blast.
Yes.
Just a blast, and not all of it fun. Good blast.
Yeah.
Some of it's been bad, but that's okay. It's all part of it.
We are where we're supposed to be.
That's right. That's right. We're exactly where we're supposed to be.
So with that, I have some gifts for you before you leave. Oh, wait. Actually, I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
Our final question is, who would you love to see or hear on this podcast, and why?
Kim Nibel. Kim, get in and get your treatments done so you can look good for the camera.
I know Kim. She's fantastic. She runs State Farm Insurance.
She does.
And it's in Fridley.
And she's my insurance agent.
She's great.
I love her.
She's absolutely wonderful.
I just love her personality, and I love the fact that she reminds me a lot of myself. Sometimes people think we're hard because we say it like it is, but we're really not. I think Kim's just as soft as I am, but we don't sugarcoat things.
I've talked to her a few times, but you know what really freaked me out one time?
Your bill? Because that freaks me out every time.
No. I got to admit, and I know you've probably never been in the men's bathroom at the XL Energy Center, but they have the little...
Can't say I have.
They have like these...
these saw?
Video screens, right? TV screens in front of the urinal.
Yes.
And as I'm standing in front of one, all of a sudden, Kim Nibel's picture pops up. It's the weirdest thing.
She's everywhere, let me tell you.
She is.
I'm out on my patio, on my deck at my house, and in this plane, I keep hearing this plane, so I go out there to see what the heck's going on out here. And there's a sign, Kim Nibel, State Farm.
Insurance.
And he went around 20 times. I called her. I go, this is getting to the point where it's interrupting my day. Get your plane out of here. I go, it's working.
All right, so would you rather have your face on a plane or a bus bench?
Oh, she's probably on that
She
too.
probably does.
But hey, girl, that girl she's a great businesswoman.
And she's a go-getter.
She is, and she
Yes.
works so hard.
Yes.
She knows business, and you know what? She cares about people, and she helps people.
Yes.
She's very helpful.
I've had a few conversations with her. She is a fantastic woman. So I will reach out to her and see if I can get her on this show, because I think her story is fantastic.
Oh, she would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is the part where I give you some gifts.
Okay.
And I know you said that, it's always, business is not always easy, but here's a full bucket of fortune cookies to give you more fortune in the year of 2026.
There is going to be more fortune in 2026.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what I am hoping. And not only that, I got more here.
What do we got?
So we have a trophy for you for just a little thanks for being on our podcast.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Yes, just a little thank you.
I'll put that right in my at the clinic.
At the clinic.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get the
A
podcast mug. And so when we had a conversation, you are very faith orientated.
Yes, I am.
And I don't know if you know who John Maxwell is.
I've heard of him.
So he's a business leadership coach.
Okay.
And he is one of the great reads. You can get a lot of his books online, but he actually did a Bible, a Maxwell Leadership Bible.
Wow.
And it's the Bible, but he takes all the parts in it and interprets on how do you use that in your leadership role. And I thought that was right up your alley. So
this
I said,
is so up my alley. I'm like, I could
thinking.
just jump over there and kiss you right now. Oh, this is amazing. Thank you.
Yes, I figured that would be right up your alley.
This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm going to totally read this. Do you know that some nights when I go to bed, you'll think I'm crazy? If I've had a really hard day and I really need to be close to Christ, I sleep with my Bible just like this, right on my
Very
chest.
nice.
So
Very
I
nice.
can't wait to take
Now you
it.
have 2 for 1.
I
John
know.
Maxwell and Christ
I
in
can't
one.
wait to read it. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure.
So amazing.
Well, Liz, again, I can't thank you enough for being on our show.
Yeah.
On Twin City Tales. If you want to learn more about Liz, you can go to www.botoxbar.com. I'll spell that out for you. BEAUTOXBAR.com. That's BotoxBar.com. Or visit us at the Twin City Tales Facebook page, and we will post it there for you. As we roll out of here, I want to thank Chris Hockey for the use of his song Thanks, obviously with no pun intended, because we are truly grateful for who Chris Hockey is. This podcast is powered by Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric. Until the next show, remember, we're built here, we stay here. You can't go wrong with Wine Long on Twin City Tales Podcast.
This song goes out to my family, to all the ones who died before me. I'm sure the family life made you do things you never wanted to, so I